Hello everyone, in this new add-on video in the Soul series we're going to tackle character creation with Synty Polygon assets instead. Many have asked for this and we'll be using Synty modular fantasy characters in order to do this. Before we start, I'd like to thank all of my Patreon supporters for the absolutely amazing support. So here we are in our scene. It's a new scene. As you can see, I have a camera and a directional light, and that's pretty much it. So first step is setting up our prefabs, and I will take an entirely different approach compared to the original Create a Game series that focused on a Zelda type game. Yes, we'll be using the same Synty Polygon fantasy hero characters. However, the way we do character customization is completely different, nothing alike. So let's start off with that. So I'm going to add a plane 0 0 0 10 10. There we go. And the reason I'm doing this is simply so we actually have something to display the character. So we'll open up prefabs and you'll see a lot of other folders. Ignore those for now because I'll address those later, and we'll focus on our player. So this is our player character. Well, this is the prefab actually. What am I saying? This is the prefab that contains all of the characters. And what we're going to do here is we're going to, let's duplicate this and we're going to set up our player character prefab first. So prefab unpack, and what I'm going to do here is literally remove everything. And in case you're wondering, like, what's going on, yeah, that's it. So the great thing here, default player, let's call him default player. The great thing here with this modular pack, and I'm giving that to the wrong one, is the fact that everything is modular, every single piece is modular. And it contains, the one prefab contains both male and female, and all of the non-gender specific ones like hair and character details. So as a default, we're actually going to go with this, and it's completely empty. We do have the the rig, of course, but there's no meshes. Now here we want to make sure that we do actually change this. So turn off root motion and do always animate. Let's apply that to our prefab and done. Let's do this quickly. So the way we're going to set up our basics is like this. So let's duplicate this again. And I'm going to show how to save the defaults for the male, and then you can replicate those steps for female. So prefab unpack, and yeah, we'll start with male. So get rid of everything, and here in head we're going to remove no elements. So as you can see, we have the head. By the way, in case you're wondering about the colors being different than yours might be, the default HDRP shaders has these color presets. Not sure why they're so different. It's just the way it is. For eyebrows, we're going to keep only the default. For heads, we're only going to keep the default. Facial hair, we're only going to keep 1. And torso, 1. And well, you get it. 1. 1. And yeah, basically we're keeping all of the zeros, and the reason for that is that that's the character without any any armor, any clothing, just obviously no nudity because it's Synty, but just all of the basics. And I'll explain this, I'll explain why in a bit. And then we have this one as well. and we're basically left with just a standard character. Now for female, this would be exactly the same as well. So we have all of these basics. Let's make sure again before we start duplicating that this is set correctly as well. And then we're going to, duplicate it a couple of times. Not sure how many we need. Cool. So let's start off with just the head. So literally everything else is gone. So we have the head. We'll call this male head 0 0. Then here in this one we're going to keep everything. We're going to remove everything, sorry, except for the eyebrows. Male brow 0 1, and the reason I'm doing 0 1 because I'll add the option in character customization that you don't need any eyebrows, and that would be 0 0. Then we'll turn it on again, and we'll keep we'll remove everything except for the facial hair, and that will be facial hair 0 1, because 0 0 is going to be without any, and that's just for naming conventions, nothing else. It just makes life easier sometimes. Then here we're going to remove everything except for the torso. So male torso 0 1. And then here, this is the first deviation from what we've been doing. So I'm going to do it like in the Souls games, like in a lot of fantasy games really, is that we're going to keep everything except for remove everything except for all of this. So literally the arms are going to be the entire arms including hands. That's a choice. You don't have to do that. If you want more customization, you can split it up in pieces. I don't want that. I think that's way too much. So male arms 0 0. And then for the legs, I'm going to do everything like this. So basically for the legs we'll have all of these pieces as well. So both legs and the hips. I'm combining that. Again, you don't have to do that. There's plenty of games that have hips separate. It just doesn't, I don't see the point. The Souls games don't, by the way. So anyway, and male legs 0 0. So we can remove the rest. We don't need the rest. And basically these are all of the prefabs that create the player. I'm not even going to use these by default. So well, the brow one, yes, because I think the characters look a bit weird without the brows. But yeah, facial hair not. And there we have our player, but basically in a lot of separate pieces, as you can see. So let's for now I will just store these here so you can see that what I did actually what I did actually works, and once we're done with that I'll remove them because I'll show you what I did with the folders. So yeah, let's do all of that. Cool, sure, facial hair, why not? And there we go. And let's remove all of these from the scene. Now in order to make sure this actually works, we're going to drag in a player. Yes, it's pink. Yes, I'm using HDRP. Okay, so let's drag in default player, and yeah, there's no character model. So next up we are going to add the trigger. This is a trigger new character. Now the reason I'm specifying new character is because we only want this trigger to load when we create a new character, not for it to replace anything we already created. So we'll do a condition here. we're going to add a global variable for this, which is simply going to be a bool, new character. There we go. By default, this is going to be turned on because by default, yes, this is a new character. So there we go. Then in the conditions, we're going to add that as a condition. So we're going to add a bool here, variable bool, new character is turned on. And yeah, that's quite important. It needs to be turned on. So skin mesh renderer, we're going to start off with that. So player, and we're going to be adding all of our presets here. So first things first, let's add the head. And we're not going to store this in a global variable. So I've tried that. It doesn't actually work when loading into a new scene. It's a bit annoying, not gonna lie. But yeah, we also need to add a small wait in between. Unfortunately, can't do that without, so you can't load them all at once otherwise. Torso. Okay, there we go. Let's add the next step. So we have had the torso. Let's do the arms. Going to add the legs here as well, and last but not least, we'll add the eyebrows. I'm not going to add the beard straight away, so we'll just do eyebrows for now. But yeah, without eyebrows, it just looks a bit weird to me, so that's why I do it by default. And cool. So these are all of the defaults in order to make sure this actually works. So save, and we'll hit play. Okay, camera is not aligned. Let's have a look. And there we go. So the player is loading just fine. And yes, it works fine as well. Perfect. So yeah, that's basically how we're going to approach this. So we're going to have the separate pieces just like that. So yeah, I can keep these, it doesn't really matter. But basically what's next is, so we have the original prefab here, and you're going to be duplicating this a lot. So the way I approached it, and by the way, for hair, hair is in all gender, and there it is, because it's not gender specific. And in every category, except for the basics, because this is just character customization, this is not equipment. For every category, we have one piece, except for hair. I did 5 different hair pieces. Just 5 different ones in total. So hair 0 is just bald. Same with brows, is just bald. And different eyebrows for female, male, facial hair. Again, 0, 0 is bald. And yeah, so literally just replicate those steps I did, and do it for the rest. And then heads, again, 5 different ones. So we've got the one with scars and things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much the approach. I'm not going to do it on screen because it's literally what I just did, but then a couple of times. So I have 5 different heads, 5 different haircuts, 5 different eyebrows, 5 different beards, and same for female, except for the beards, of course. And yeah, that's it. So pause the video, take time to do this, because I'm not going to go through the same steps again and again, because it would just take too long to do this video. And yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Cool. So now that all of that is set up, we have our scene here. We're going to start with our canvas. So UI canvas, and considering it's a new video, so I'm simply going to do a entirely new canvas. you know, just to have something different. Using an asset for that as well to make, you know, speed things along just a bit. It's just a couple of UI images and buttons, but it looks pretty nice. So I'm using GUI PRO Kit Fantasy RPG. It wasn't one of the bundles, either Humble Bumble or Unity did. Yeah, it's pretty nice. And we'll drag in, let me quickly do this first. And we'll drag in the heroes panel. Again, you don't need to do this at all. This is just visual. It adds no other value whatsoever. Cool. And yeah, this is the scene. I'm going to turn off the lights now, because, you know, I'm not sure if you're familiar. It just goes all crazy in HDRP, as you can see. It's a bit strange. Cool, so this is it. I'm going to use this one. Again, you don't have to use this at all. It's just because I like the look and I wanted to do something different. So let's customize that text straight away. So it's just going to be character. Yeah, nice. Remove that weird dot, it annoys me. And then all of this stuff can go away. So status, home button, I don't know what character info can go away. Literally all of this. Yeah, I'm not keeping a lot here. Although I'm going to keep the panel placement because we'll use that the same, but we'll remove everything in there. Did I just remove the panel as well? Yeah, I did. Cool. So the right panel, I'm going to place that properly, and this is where we'll load the values basically when we press a button. I'm only going to keep 2 buttons. I'm going to keep this simple to save some time. So we'll have gender and we'll have customization, and that's it. For some reason these buttons all have 2 buttons in them, which is a bit weird. So yeah, I'll just keep that. And cool, let's drag this up. And that's it. Let's change the text to avoid any confusion here. So gender and customization. Perfect. These buttons are normal buttons, so not game creator buttons. Doesn't matter, we can still do actions with them just the same. I'll show you how, and we'll do game creator buttons as well, just so you see the difference between the two. This character, you know, the placement of the image is fine, but we're going to be using a raw image. So let's add a raw image here, UI raw image. And in case you're not familiar, a raw image allows you to display a rendered texture. And that's what we want to do. We want to display a rendered texture here. This is just temporary size. I don't know what it's going to be. And we'll call it character as well, because yeah, it's a good name. And yeah, so raw texture, like I said before, a raw texture is a rendered texture that allows you to display a camera shot. And let's have a look. So I'm going to save, create that in the, I can't find it, there we go. I'm going to just create it here. Render texture, Synty character, just to avoid any duplications in names with what I already had. So there we go. I'm going to set this to a 1000 by 1000. I think that's a good size. Well, let's see first what it's going to look like when the character is actually there. Awesome. Then next up, so we have the character. I'm going to put that in the background here, so it's everything will overlap this, so it won't get in the way. Yeah, it's pretty good placement. Button select is going to, let's change the text straight away. Confirm, that's going to be a confirmation button. Sweet. So yeah, we need to display our player here. However, it's quite difficult, as you might imagine. Let's turn on those lights again, off with 2D mode. Because our player, well, our player doesn't really have a mesh. So one of the easiest ways, just take one of the character presets here, and we'll place it in the same place. That way we can know what the camera position should be. So we'll create a new camera for this. Camera, there we go. And yeah, 180. Yeah, that's pretty good. Cool. This camera will have a our render texture. So Synty character. And when we select our render texture, we'll see the preview as well. So it will be that size. So need to move that camera a tiny bit to, there we go. And that's better. Now the important thing is I'm using HDRP, and in HDRP the color buffer format needs to be set to R16, 16, 16, this one. There we go. Don't mess with anti-aliasing here, because otherwise it won't work. Here we can do anti-aliasing and just set the highest quality, because you know, if you're using HDRP, why not? You know, it's possible to do that. It's a scene where nothing else happens, so even on lower performing devices will work just fine. Just in case, you know, to avoid any issues. And there we go, we have our camera angle. I think that looks pretty okay. And this is what it looks like in our scene. Now the important thing with the camera is we need to set it to color. And yeah, something like this. Now, in case your background is not transparent like it is for me, so as you can see, alpha 0, and it's transparent. In case it's not for you, that's okay. What we're going to do then is we're going to go to edit, project settings, and if you are using default render pipeline, it will just be transparent. HDRP by default, it won't be. And in the default settings, you need to set the color buffer format to R16, 16, 16, 16 as well. So not that many choices anyway, but yeah, it needs to be set in that format. Then next thing is that plane the player is standing on has to be a different layer. Whatever layer you want, you can add one. Just select water, and then in the camera, we are going to make sure that culling mask is nothing and then only default. And there we go. So yeah, this is looking pretty good, looking pretty sharp. So let's go to our I think, could be wrong here. I think this is better. 2.8. It just looks nicer in the scene. You know, whatever. Now, as you can see, the lighting is just absolutely plain horrible. And we'll fix that in a bit. Ignore that. And then let's head back to our... where is it? Let's head back to our canvas. 2D. Going to drag it, the render texture, tiny bit higher, so the player is actually, you know, standing in that circle-ish thing, which looks pretty cool. Now the problem is on start we are loading a couple of values. Takes little time, not a lot. So in order to avoid any of those types of issues, we're going to add another canvas, UI, canvas. but I'm going to give this a trigger name, so trigger canvas fade. Same thing here, same scaling, 1920, 1080. Sort order has to be one higher, and then we're going to give it a image. We're going to turn stretch and then 0, 0, 0, 0, and we're going to make it all black. And yes, I know black, but that's HDRP for you. So yeah, it's all black. Then trigger. On start, we'll add some actions here. So we'll need to add a canvas group as well. Sorry, forgot about that. Going to move it up. Move up. There we go. By default, it's going to be 0. And then on start group, we'll drag in our canvas group 0. And then 1. Make sure interactable is turned off. We're going to add a wait of 1 second, and then we'll add the canvas group again, and it's going to go to 0 again. This way, and we'll turn this on as well, that we can't accidentally click on it. This way, it won't interfere when we're in editing mode, and if you want to turn it off, all you need to do is turn off the canvas and the triggers go along with it. It's just a simple way to do it, basically. And there we go. So we have the triggers. Going to add a small separator here, because this always bugs me a bit. There we go. And we're going to be separating this from our normal canvas and camera and stuff. Cool. So yeah, that's pretty good. We can remove this preset now. One of the things I'm going to add straight away is a yeah, no, I should have done global volume. Stupid. Sorry. So yeah, let's remove physically based sky. Let's set this to the default HDRI. And the reason I'm doing that is, yeah, let's get rid of the fog, by the way. The reason I'm doing that is because we need to adjust exposure to be fixed value. So let's go to the player quickly, out of 2D. And I should have left that character, apologies. -5, there we go. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the exposure just till we have a good looking, yeah, this looks pretty good. There we go. And the reason we're doing this is because otherwise with the adaptive exposure, if it's not set on fixed but on automatic, it will fluctuate, which is nice when you're in game for realistic lighting effects and that bright bit of sun when you come out of a building, blah blah blah. But in a UI it's absolutely horrible to have that, so that's why you're using fixed values, because it would actually interfere with what we're doing. So okay, let's get rid of the character here. Let's hit save, and now when we hit play, we should be seeing our short fade of like 1 second. There we go, and then our character is standing there. And yeah, it looks pretty awesome, like he actually belongs there and fits in. Now the important thing obviously is that we can't do this. We don't want that. So on the player, we're just going to turn off is controllable, and that's it. Let's turn off jump as well. I completely forgot about that. Where's jump? Can jump. There we go. That way we can't control the player whatsoever. Awesome. So yeah, we've got all of the basics set up now, which is pretty sweet. What we need to do next, obviously, is the important thing, is making sure all of this customization that's that we want to do actually works, is saved properly, and outside of being saved properly, it also needs to be you know, it needs to be displayed, it needs to be stored, and we need to be able to load this into a new scene, because, you know, that was one of the requests. So we're going to be creating a couple of new preferences here. So we have variables, sorry. So we have new character. We're going to add a player gender here, which is just going to be a string. This is for some of the customization options. Creation, there we go. And then a couple of objects. So head. This doesn't have to be gender specific because you're only going to load one. So it's just going to be general for all of them. Body. Arms. Legs. Well, you get the gist, all of it. There we go. Brow. Oh, sorry about that. Brow. Game objects. Creation. There we go. Next up, we need to add hair. And we need to add facial hair. Oh, sorry. Facial hair creation as well. Perfect. So these are all of the categories. This is where we're going to save our values. Cool. Gender button. What this will do is it's going to activate something. So we have our right panel here, and that's this one. So we're going to duplicate this, and then we have it here. This is going to be our gender panel. Let's just, yeah, gender panel. This is going to be our customization panel. And then inside of gender customization panel, we're going to have two more panels. So male panel, female panel, and if you want to add more, you can add more. You can add as much as you want. So yeah, that's it. So the gender panel and customization panel are both going to have a canvas group, and the reason for that is simply it's simply because it looks nicer with a small fade effect. It's just cosmetic, but it looks cool. So yeah, anyway, so let's start off with the gender panel. So we'll I like this text, it looks cool. It does look really nice. So I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to drag it into the gender panel. I don't know, here, make it a bit smaller, like 50. And gender, and we're going to have two buttons. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean the buttons look nice. Don't they? I guess they do. I'm sure we have some prefabs for in here for buttons that we can use. Again, don't need to do this, but why not? Prefabs, buttons. We can't preview them. Okay, that's kind of shit. Where's gender panel? There we go. Okay, no, so that's the wrong type of button. I'm just going to literally drag them all in. Just to see which one I like. Okay, we'll use this one I don't like. The green one, wait, I should do this from, yeah, I don't like the green one. Then we have all of the rectangle ones. Is there something interesting behind those? No, not really actually. Okay, so let's get rid of all of these. Oh, there's an entire group thing, isn't there? Yeah. Okay, so we'll pick one of these rectangle ones. Not blue. Oh, it's done like that. Okay, cool. No, I don't want blue. Yeah, yellow. Cool. That's fine. We'll do yellow. It's way too big though. Let's do 0.6, 0.6. There we go. That's better. Cool. So yeah, we have our one of the options here. Let's unpack this one. This is male. Oh, male. And then we need to add some actions here. So actions, actions execute. There we go. So this is going to execute actions as well, actually. So we'll create this separate just because it's easier. So this is going to execute actions. And yeah, no, that's actually it. And then we can put this next to it and just do female. Oh, there we go. Button, male, button, female. The reason I'm adding those in separate actions is simply because it's easier. We'll be using it again anyway, so just makes it tons easier to do. So the actions are going to be quite similar to the onStart actions we had for the new character. Here they are. So let's just duplicate those, drag this in. There we go. So yeah, this is exactly the same actually. So initially there's not going to be a difference. Yeah, that's the same. However, we're going to add another execute actions at the bottom here. That's on the wrong one, so I'll turn them around. There we go. And in here, I'm not sure why maybe I need those weights as well. I'm not sure. Just in case. But yeah, without the weights, by the way, for the skin mesh renderer, it really won't work, so don't try. Game object, variable game object, and we're going to store our options here as well. Now, I know you saw that you have store here. The problem is it will literally store the skinned instance already. It's not going to store the actual prefab, and skinned instances can't be saved from scene to scene. It just doesn't work. So unfortunately, that's why we need to do this as well. Yes, it's an extra step. Yes, you need to do it. So let's save those. So we'll start with head. And yeah, this is just the default stuff. Anyway. So there we go. So male heads, it doesn't matter which order we're doing this actually. Body, arms, and legs. There we go. So this was the brow, so we need to store that in brow. These were the legs, need to store it in legs. What was this? Arms and body. Perfect. So yeah, it's an extra step. It's annoying, but there's nothing we can do about it. Duplicate these, drag them in female button. Yeah, there we go. And then we need to drag in the female options. So yeah, that's literally the same. So head, body, arms, legs, brow, and yeah, then again here, I know it's a bit annoying, but yeah. So head again, legs, brow. My brow's 0, by the way, is literally just without the model. Again, like I said, for the facial hair, hair and eyebrow, 0 is no mesh. You know, for people who want to do, you know, stuff like that. There we go. And then just the body is left, and we're good. So yeah, 2 different steps. One is in order to load everything on the preview character, and one is to store everything so that our actual character in game will have the correct prefabs to load on start. Cool. So yeah, that's the gender panel by default. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, as you saw, there's that small weight in everything, and you will see that you will see that load on the character here, which obviously isn't great, and it's, you know, kind of sucks even. So one way to hide this, and it's actually pretty simple. On our character here, we're going to add a canvas group. There we go. Doesn't need to be interactable. By default, it's going to be turned on. And what we're going to do when we press male is we're going to do group. There we go. It's annoying when that happens. Canvas group, we're going to drag in a character in 0.1, which is enough. It's going to go to 0, and then once it's done, so in these actions we can add it here because the saving doesn't matter, it's going to go back to 1. Same for female, so it's the same same renderer, render texture, so we can just add it here. And when we press the button, it's going to go to 0. There we go. Need to make sure that actually executes the actions. Sweet. And yeah, that's all awesome. That's pretty good. So it's a good start. It will allow us to do those basic things. Now, unfortunately, it's not that simple. So what we need to do next is in all of these, we have that. We need to duplicate and duplicate, and we need to remove, and then we need to remove the female head. Where is it? Female head. 0, 0 as well. And yeah, another slightly annoying step, female body. Reason for that is that otherwise we'll get duplicates stacked on top of each other on the player. Nobody wants that. It's annoying. I don't know, I'm changed the wrong one here. Yeah, there we go. And we need to do remove. And yes, you need to do that for literally everything. So yeah, it's really annoying. But yeah, there's no way around it. It's just what it is. Female arms. Should have thought of should have thought of this before, by the way, before I duplicated it. But you know, fine, whatever. Female arms. There we go. Legs. Yeah, not that clever that I thought about this at the late point, but that's okay. And then eyebrows. Yeah, okay. And yeah, as you might have guessed, unfortunately, same here. That's why I should have thought of it before. Sorry about that. And yeah, this simply needs to be done. It's not really optional. Otherwise, you're going to be stacking on top of each other, which obviously doesn't really work. Well, it works, but it's not the result you want. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, we'll be doing stuff like this quite a bit actually. Yeah. There we go. And then female, no, male body. Really should have thought of this before. Remove. Remove. We need to do the legs. Arms. It's really easy to miss one here, so play close attention, because something like this won't work. Most likely we just forgot one, because yeah, it's easy to accidentally miss one or do adds a couple of times instead of remove, things like that. Brow. Cool. I think that's it. Might have missed one, but we'll find out. Yeah, so let's actually give this a go. Let's try this out. Okay, so okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty funny. I'm pretty sure I know what I did wrong here. Most likely just loaded the wrong actions, and that's it. So button mail, I am executing which one? Yeah, I should be executing this one. However, yeah, no, that's it. Okay. Let's make sure I don't make that mistake. Yeah, okay. Cool. Let's try this again. Hopefully now it will do what it's supposed to. I'm going to collapse this as well, just so you see what's actually going on here. So we at the start we loaded this. Now we're going to press this, and it's loading it all again. Female, and it's changing them, and yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. So it's working as it should. Awesome. So yeah, that's it. Now when we open up our preferences, obviously that's the important part as well, and everything is stored. So it's the actual prefabs are stored, not the skins instances. So yeah, nice, really cool stuff. So that's the gender panel, and I think we're pretty much done. The only thing we need to add actually, and I completely forgot about that, is we need the player gender to be entered as well, and that's only going to be used here actually, not for nothing else. And I'm not even sure if we needed that. We could have just done something else. So you know what, we can just do it like this. We didn't need the entire player gender. So once we press male, male panel is active, female panel is inactive. Yeah, I could have just done it like this. And here the same. Cool. Perfect. Yeah, that was it actually. Didn't need a variable for that. Then these buttons actually need to do something as well. I just realized, because right now they're not actually doing anything. So we'll add some actions here. Yeah, so we did canvas groups just because it looks slightly nicer. So we'll do that. 0.1, and it's going to be active because this is the gender button, interactable, and the customization panel is going to be inactive. I think we should do that one first, actually, the inactive at the top. 0.1. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. Then we do it here as well. So actions, execute, so gender panel is becoming inactive, and this one is becoming active and needs to be interacted with. Did I do that correctly on this one? Yes, I did. Okay. So it's a small fade effect. It just looks slightly nicer. That's it. There's no other value than that. But yeah, it's pretty nice. By default, this is going to be turned off as well. We're not deactivating it because we're using the canvas groups, by the way. And once we're done setting this up, you know, will be the same here. Then yeah, customization. Now another thing I would actually like to add, which I think is pretty nice. So once we select gender, you know, we have that view of the player character from quite far. It would be nice to, you know, slightly zoom in a bit. I know it doesn't match completely with the background, but nonetheless it's pretty nice to do it like that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go to 2D mode here, out of 2D mode, sorry. Turn on the lights again. Let's drag in one of those presets just so we know what we're looking at. There we go. And that's the view we have. Let's create an empty parent. That way we know what we're where the original is supposed to be. Cool. I'm not sure why why this isn't why the rotation doesn't go along. It's just weird. Cool. And then we're going to zoom in a bit. Yeah, like this. And yeah, this is enough. Yeah, this is enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a small snip of this position. I'm going to put that snip on my second screen just to make things easier. We don't need to go there entirely, so this is the new zoomed in position, right? Yeah. Okay, so when we go to the button for which one is this? Should have named these. So this is customization. Okay. We're also going to do a transform move. There we go. Game object, camera, don't need this. We want linear, it needs to be smooth. 0.5 is enough. And we're going to change the world position to this new position. There we go. Let's copy this over, move it to the other one as well. And here we're going to use the empty game object position I had. I'm going to snip that as well. It's on my second screen, so you know I can easily copy over that position. And yeah, that's this one. That's the original one. Yeah. It's going to go to here. Perfect. Yeah, pretty good. So we can drag in the camera again. 0, 0, and yeah, it's our default position again. Cool. So yeah, a couple of extra steps, but this way we'll slightly zoom in when we go to the customization piece. I think it will look nice. Let's have a look at our canvas again. So yeah, for customization, I'll keep things simple here. Obviously there's tons you can do with buttons and sliders, and the effect is all the same, so it doesn't really matter. So we have our panel here. I did like from the gender panel having the text in the same position. We'll change the name to customize. And then in the male panel, we'll use the text again actually. There we go. Bit smaller, so like 30, something like that. That's why I'm not a big fan of Text Mesh Pro actually. I know it's better, but I still don't like it. Head. There we go. Yay. We'll need to add some buttons below it. Literally, I'm just going to use these buttons actually. So let's just duplicate. There we go. Going to make it a load smaller. So 60 by 60. Let's get rid of the yeah. I'm just going to add a simple text here. 1. Maybe 60 by 60 is a bit it's a bit small. Let's do 80 by 80 maybe. 80 by 80. There we go. Cool. Yeah. So button 01. There we go. We already have this, which is nice, but obviously that's not gonna work. We need to add some new actions. And yeah, this is going to be a customization. So 1 is just going to be loading 1. So this is going to be that same skin mesh approach. Now the annoying thing here is that you'll need to remove everything that could possibly be there. So yeah, quite annoying actually. So what we're going to do first is we're going to create a simple action that's so game creator actions remove heads, and then we're literally we have to drag in all of them. And yeah, that is honestly quite annoying that we have to do that. But yeah, otherwise it's going to create some issues. So female as well. Yes, female as well. So where is it? Female head. There we go. I thought I duplicated this so many more times, but apparently I didn't. 2, 3, and one more, 4. Sweet. So yeah, we need to get rid of all of those. So I'm going to put this action here, something like that. So we'll add skinned mesh. In this case, that's going to be male head 0, 0. Game objects, that's the important part here. Global variable head. Same one. And then before we do any of that, execute actions, we're going to do the entire remove wait to finish weight 0.001, and no, I don't know, we don't actually need to do that, sorry, no need for the weight. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. That's it. So let's add 2 here as well. For the actions, this will be the same. The only difference is that here we add 1 and 1. Text 2. And we'll do this again. Something like this. 3. And yeah, we're removing everything. So here 2 and 2, and that's enough for now. Just need to make sure it works. I'm not going to put in all of them. So yeah, nice, all good. There we go. I'm going to duplicate this. Sorry about that. There we go. Obviously, repeat the same steps for eyebrows, for everything. I just want to add hair, because you know, I'm just repeating myself. There's literally no other steps. Just want to do one other one, which is hair, simply because by default we don't have any hair. So you know, how will we do that? When it comes to remove, it's the same. Obviously we need to create those actions again, and this time it's going to be remove hair. Only have 5 in total, obviously, as this is not gender specific. And there we go. Now I want to highlight one thing here, quite important, is that 0, 0 has no mesh. So this is all a haircut, as you can see. So these are all haircuts. This one has no mesh, so that's just bold. So you know, that's it. That's just bold. Cool. So yeah, these are. Let's remove hair actions, then hair 0, hair 0, and we need to load that into hair. And yeah, that's it. Next one, remove hair. Wait, I'm not sure if I did one or there we go. Hair, did I do? Yeah, okay, cool. And then in this one, again, remove hair, and then hair 2 and hair 2, hair again. Awesome. Let's see if that works. Yeah, we're going to give this all a try actually, so let's do that right away. Customization panel, also set to these values so that by default we don't see anything. So save, play. Cool, by default we have these values. Gender, we have these options, male, female, there we go. We press customization, it zooms in. Zooming could have been better, but you know, it's fine. This is not working. Okay, so we need to check that none of this is working actually. I'm actually quite curious why none of this is working. What is going on here? Oh, this is invoker instead of player. Oh my god. Sorry about that. Apologies. I forgot to change that. It should work now. It's working, but it's not doing the remove ones, because obviously those remove ones are also not not set to player. So stupid. Let's try this again. Let's change all of this. I should have paid attention to that. Player. So let's have a look at these remove. Yeah, it's all invoker. Of course it is. There we go. Let's try this again. Okay, gender. Yes, we're changing it. All good there, as you can see, no duplicates. Customization, head. And yeah, we're changing, and you know, really cool stuff. We see the scars, and yeah, cool. Hair working as well. Yeah, really nice. Then one last little step, because obviously the rest is just duplicating the same exact work. We're not going to waste time on that, because you know, you can do that yourself. However, I do want to show two color customization options. Doesn't matter if it's hair, skin tone, whatever. We'll just do yeah, I don't know, we'll do hair. It's just easier with the colors. So we'll do a duplicate here. Button color 01. There we go. And what this is going to do, material transition, and we're going to be selecting default player and then apply to child objects, duration 0.1. For some reason, sometimes when I do 0, it just doesn't work. It just becomes black. I don't know, it's a bit weird. So yeah, 0 to 0.1. There we go. And then what we need to do is we need to select the material to find color hair. There we go. This is the default. Okay, so button color. So that's the default color. So 45, 45, 43. Perfect. And then we need to save this somehow, and I don't know if I actually set up something there. I didn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply add a number, hair color. By default, 0 is fine. Actually, that can just be the default color, default value, and then number, global variable, hair color 0, and yeah, that's this value. So it was shit. What was it? Color hair. Okay. Color hair, and you can do this for all of the values, whatever they are. Just, you know, these are the values. Make sure in the action that you keep this in front, and if that doesn't work, remove it, try it out, but most of it should be there. Cool. Well, instead of the text, just going to add a image. I'm sure I have a circle somewhere. There we go. Circle 78 by 78. I think that should match pretty much the size. That is too big. Okay. Yeah, seems about right. And then here we will just do same. There we go. Perfect. Then we'll do another one just to make sure it's actually changing, of course. So this is 2. And we'll change it to, I don't know, red. Just to see if it's working. What was the color? So we actually see it here as well. 255 37 0. There we go. Hideous color, but at least we will know if it works or not. Awesome. Let's turn this off. The button, this should then be 1, of course. And yeah, let's hit play. Gender, male, female, doesn't really matter. Customization, we'll pick this head, this hair, and yeah, yay, color works. Awesome. And that's pretty much it. Now the last step is going to be making sure this all loads in a new scene. Obviously there's tons more options, but it's just duplicating the same steps, so there's no point in me showing it, as it's literally all the same. So what we need to do is this confirm button, select confirm, needs to actually load our new scene. So let's save first. Bool new character is turned off. Wait. And then load scene, not with player. The player here is just for visual aid, nothing else. And this will be the scene. I haven't created that yet, so I'll need to create that. But that's the scene we'll load, so we'll use that. And then in scenes, let's create a new scene. There we go, same name, need to be sure. And let's set up this really basic scene. We'll need a couple of things. So for one, I'm going to copy over the trigger fade, and we'll use trigger new character as well, actually. So yeah, awesome. Let's give this a go and set up this new scene. Cool. So setting up this scene will be relatively easy. We'll paste these in, trigger new character. It's just going to drag in the actions, nothing else, and we'll just call this trigger load player. I think that's a better name, more fitting. And then we're going to select global variables here. Head, body, arms, legs, and brow, and then we need one more, which is hair. There we go. And then the last thing we need to do, in this case, because we only set up one, material transition 0.1 or 0.01, I can't remember. Color, hair. I think we could have actually saved the color instead. That would have actually been an option as well, but that's okay. No, we can't do that anyway. Sorry. Yeah, let's create the player first, because otherwise we can't reference. So player, the prefab is going to be that prefab we set up in Polygon Fantasy. Prefabs. So that's the default, which is empty, no model. There we go, no meshes, I meant, sorry about that. And we're going to reference that, apply, and here we should have actually done a call conditions, apologies. Call conditions, let's add those conditions. There we go. Copy, remove, and then hair. No, what is it? Number. If it's 0, then the color should be. Can't believe I remember this, but I mean it's not that hard. But yeah. 43, and if hair color is equal to 1, then it's going to be, I don't know, it was some reddish, whatever, I think 255. Yeah, it was something like this. Doesn't really matter at the moment, but cool. Let's add this to our build settings. So add open scene. There we go. Let's add a camera motor so we can actually see what we're doing. Awesome. Let's add a plane. And perfect. Yeah, and I think that's all of the basics. I think we're pretty much done there. Then let's head back to our other scene and let's try this out. I think we've got everything covered, hopefully at least. So let's try this out. And in order to make sure this is actually, well, no, it doesn't really matter, does it? Which gender we pick. I think, yeah, the default is empty anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But we can just select the female, some customization. Oh, we didn't set up female. Sorry about that. Male customization. So we'll do head 2, hair, and we'll make it this ugly color. And then confirm normally should be loading, and it's not loading anything. Why is confirm not loading? Sorry about that. Oh, no function. There we go. Execute. And yeah, okay, you can't really see it because of the directional light. And there we go. And there we have our player with his scar and his ugly hair color. I mean, it's not actually not that bad. It actually looks pretty fine. But yeah, that's it. And that's how we can have all of our variables loaded from one scene to the other. That's how we can set up character customization. Now when it comes to inventory, etc., it just takes the same approach. So it's all skin mesh renderer, and we store that in the global variables. And then when the scene starts, you know, in the other scene, sorry, whenever we start this scene, we're loading those global variables. So it's simply up to you to, when using the inventory, to store these in the global variables as well. And you're done, you know, it adds all of the values. And yeah, you know, when it comes to customization, for if you want to add female, it's literally just exactly the same. So let's turn on the, not gender, but customize panel. We have male, female, so you know, for female, we just literally duplicate all of this, drag it into female. Then male can be turned off, and you know, go ahead, you know, then make sure that all of these values, they have you know, the female heads, and that's pretty much it. For brows, for beards, just replicate these exact same steps. It's no difference. For colors, skin colors, it's all the same. You know, just the same steps as for the hair colors. There's no difference. So yeah, that's how we set something like this up with Synty Polygon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.